Why is it that when you're kind to people, they sometimes treat you with less respect? You give your time, your energy, your attention, and instead of being appreciated, you're ignored, taken for granted, or even walked all over. Does this mean kindness is a weakness? Or is there something deeper going on? Today, we're going to uncover a hard truth about kindness. It's not that being kind is wrong. In fact, kindness is one of the greatest strengths you can have. The problem lies in how people perceive it and how we show it. Sometimes, kindness without boundaries sends the wrong message. One that makes people value you less instead of more. But don't worry, this isn't about becoming cold or unkind. Instead, it's about learning the Stoic way of balancing kindness with strength. You'll discover why too much kindness can backfire, how to protect yourself from disrespect, and how to command respect without changing who you are. If you've ever felt like your kindness is being taken advantage of, this video is for you. So, grab a seat, stay with me, and let's explore how Stoic philosophy can help you turn your kindness into a source of power, not weakness. Alright, let's get into it. Why kindness makes people disrespect you, and what you can do about it. The double-edged sword of kindness. Kindness is often seen as one of the highest virtues we can embody. We're taught from a young age to treat others with respect, compassion, and generosity. It feels good to help someone, to be the person who brightens someone's day. And on the surface, that's exactly what kindness should do. Build connections, foster goodwill, and create a positive atmosphere. But here's where things get tricky. Have you ever noticed that the more kind you are, the more people seem to take advantage of you? It's almost like the kindness becomes an invitation for others to step all over you, to expect things from you without ever offering anything in return. The very thing that's supposed to bring us closer to others is, in some situations, pushing them farther away. Take a moment to think about your own life. Have you ever given someone your time, your energy, or your resources, only for them to take it and walk away without so much as a thank you? How often have you helped others, only for them to expect more the next time, as if your kindness is an endless well? This is the double-edged sword of kindness. While it's an admirable quality, without boundaries, it can actually breed disrespect. People begin to see you as someone who is always available, someone they can rely on without ever having to reciprocate. And worse, they may even take your kindness for weakness, mistaking your generosity for something they can exploit. Let me tell you about a man named Marcus. He was known for his kindness, always ready to lend a hand or offer a favor. He believed in giving without expecting anything in return. But over time, something strange began to happen. The more he gave, the less he received. People started to take him for granted. Instead of seeing him as a generous person, they began to see him as someone who had no limits, someone who could be easily taken advantage of. And that's exactly what happened. The more Marcus gave, the more people expected from him, until one day, he realized he had nothing left for himself. His kindness had created a pattern where others respected his generosity, but not him. It wasn't that they didn't appreciate what he did for them. It's that they began to expect it, without question or gratitude. So why does this happen? Why does kindness, which should make people love and respect you, sometimes lead to the opposite? It's simple. When you give without setting limits, people often mistake your generosity for vulnerability. They see it as a sign that you have no self-respect, no boundaries, and that you're always there for them, no matter what. In Stoic philosophy, we learn that true kindness is rooted in strength, not weakness. It's not about being there for others at the expense of your own well-being. It's about knowing when to give and when to say no. It's about respecting yourself enough to not allow others to drain you dry. Because if you don't respect yourself, no one else will either. So, while kindness is a beautiful trait, it's important to recognize that it's not the act of being kind that commands respect. It's the balance you maintain. When kindness is given with intention, when it's done from a place of strength, it becomes a force that builds relationships and creates mutual respect. But when kindness is given without boundaries, it opens the door to exploitation and, ultimately, disrespect. This is the power of Stoic wisdom. It teaches us that kindness isn't about being self-sacrificial or trying to please others. It's about having control over our actions and our emotions, about giving with awareness, and most importantly, about giving with respect, both for ourselves and for the people we're helping. So, how can we prevent kindness from backfiring on us? How do we navigate this double-edged sword? Let's dive deeper into Stoic philosophy to find the answers. Why people disrespect kindness. We all know that kindness is a virtue, but what happens when you're too kind? What happens when your generosity goes unnoticed or, worse, is taken for granted? It's frustrating, right? You give your time, you offer help, and yet people disrespect you. Why does this happen? Let's break it down. The first reason is simple: kindness without boundaries. When you're always there for others, when you say yes every time someone asks, it can start to feel like you have no limits. And that's where the problem begins. People begin to take your kindness for granted. They stop seeing it as a gift and start expecting it. Over time, you become the person they lean on without hesitation, and they forget to value you for who you are. It's not that people are inherently bad, but rather, human nature tends to expect what's easily available. The kindness is always on offer, it stops feeling rare. It stops feeling special. In fact, the more you give without expecting anything in return, the less people might respect you. They'll think, oh, they'll always say yes. It's no big deal. And that's when disrespect creeps in. Now, here's the second reason why kindness can lead to disrespect: the ego effect. Think about this. When someone is always giving to others, constantly putting others first, it can make them appear weak, like they don't have their own needs or desires. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us about this. He said, "He who is overly indulgent invites contempt, not gratitude." If you're constantly putting everyone else ahead of you, people might start to see you as someone who has no boundaries or self-respect. And the worst part? They might not even be aware of it. They might just take advantage of your kindness without realizing how it affects you. They don't respect you because you're not setting limits. You're not showing them that you matter too. And without that, your kindness starts to lose its power. The third reason people disrespect kindness is rooted in human psychology, and it's something we all fall victim to at times. It's called the scarcity principle. This principle states that people value what's rare or hard to get. So, if your kindness is always available, it's not seen as valuable. It's no longer rare. People may not even appreciate it because they feel like it's always going to be there. Take a moment to think about this. When you receive something easily, without effort or sacrifice, you might not fully appreciate it, right? The same thing happens with kindness. When kindness is freely given with no expectations, it doesn't feel earned, and people stop valuing it. In fact, it might even start to feel like an entitlement, like, oh, they'll always be kind, so I don't need to appreciate it anymore. These are the reasons why kindness can sometimes lead to disrespect. It's not because kindness itself is bad or wrong. It's the way it's given. Without boundaries, without strength, without a sense of self-respect, kindness can be misunderstood. And when kindness is misunderstood, it can easily be disrespected. But don't worry, there is a way to navigate this. Stoic philosophy teaches us that kindness, when done with intention, boundaries, and respect for ourselves, can actually command more respect than we think. Let's explore how we can do that in the next section. The Stoic approach to balanced kindness. Kindness is powerful, but when it's given without balance, it can quickly become a source of frustration for you and a door for others to take advantage of you. The Stoics believed in living with virtue, and kindness is undoubtedly one of the highest virtues. But they also knew that true kindness must be balanced with boundaries, intention, and respect for oneself. Let's break this down into 3 key ideas. Set boundaries without guilt. The first lesson is this: set boundaries without feeling guilty. Marcus Aurelius taught us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. What does that mean? It means you can be kind to others while still protecting your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. Imagine this. You're at work, and a colleague constantly asks for your help with their projects. You're kind, so you always say yes. But over time, you feel drained, and your own work suffers. Here's the truth. Constantly saying yes doesn't make you kind. it makes you overwhelmed. Stoicism teaches us that saying no can sometimes be the kindest thing for yourself and others. Try this next time. Instead of overcommitting, say something like, "I'd love to help, but I can only give you 30 minutes right now." That way, you're showing generosity on your terms without sacrificing your well-being. Make kindness intentional. Next, kindness should be intentional, not automatic. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." In other words, don't just give kindness out of obligation or fear of rejection. Choose who you help and why you help them. Think about it, when kindness is automatic, it loses its meaning. It becomes something people expect, not something they value. Instead, be deliberate with your kindness. Ask yourself, is this person or situation worth my time and energy? For example, if someone constantly takes but never gives back, whether it's your time, your money, or your attention, it's okay to stop. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and we can control how we share our kindness. Intentional kindness is far more powerful than mindless giving. Respect yourself first. Lastly, the Stoics remind us of an important truth. Kindness starts with self-respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in what you fear, and like immortals in what you desire." That means we often give too much to others, fearing their judgment, while ignoring our own needs. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you were kind to yourself? Not in a selfish way, but in a way that refilled your energy. Whether it's taking a quiet moment to reflect, prioritizing your health, or even just saying, "No, I can't help today," these are all acts of self-kindness. When you respect yourself, others are more likely to respect you too. If you constantly sacrifice yourself for others, people may start to see it as your default. But when you show self-respect, your kindness becomes more valuable, because people know it's not unlimited. So, to sum it up, set boundaries without guilt. Be intentional with your kindness. And most importantly, respect yourself first. Remember, Stoic kindness isn't about being liked or avoiding conflict. It's about giving from a place of strength, not weakness. When you follow these principles, you'll not only protect yourself, you'll also inspire others to value your kindness more. How to command respect through kindness. Kindness is one of the greatest qualities a person can have. But to ensure your kindness is respected, not abused, you need to pair it with strength and self-respect. Let's explore how you can command respect through your kindness without losing your sense of compassion. 1. Be assertive in your generosity. Let's get one thing clear. Kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. In fact, saying yes too often can make people take you for granted. Instead, be intentional and assertive when you choose to help. For example, if someone asks for your time or energy, you can say, "I'd love to help, but I only have an hour to spare." This shows you're willing to contribute, but on your terms. Being assertive doesn't make you less kind. It shows that you value both your time and theirs. And trust me, people respect those who have clear boundaries. 2. Avoid seeking validation. Here's a hard truth. If your kindness is driven by a need for approval, people will notice, and they'll lose respect for you. Why? Because when you constantly try to please everyone, it signals insecurity. Kindness should come from a place of genuine care, not a desire to be liked. Think about it this way, true confidence is quiet. You don't need to announce your good deeds or seek recognition for them. Marcus Aurelius said it best. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. So, don't let your ambition be about pleasing others. Let it be about doing what feels right to you. 3. Guard your time and energy. One of the biggest reasons kindness leads to disrespect is because we give too much of ourselves. But remember, your time and energy are precious. If you spread yourself too thin, you'll end up feeling resentful, drained, and undervalued. The Stoics believed that our time is the most valuable thing we own. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to focus on what truly matters. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So, be selective about where and how you invest your energy. Here's a practical tip. When someone asks for help, take a moment to think before answering. Ask yourself, Is this something I genuinely want to do? Or am I doing it out of guilt or obligation? If it's the latter, it's okay to politely decline. Saying no doesn't make you unkind, it makes you wise. 4. Show strength through kindness. Kindness paired with strength is what truly commands respect. Think of it as a balance. You're willing to help, but you won't let anyone walk over you. For example, if someone oversteps your boundaries, calmly but firmly let them know. Say something like, "I'm happy to help, but I also need you to respect my time." This approach shows that while you're compassionate, you also value yourself. People may not always like it, but they'll respect it. 5. Set the standard for how you want to be treated. People treat you the way you allow them to. If you tolerate disrespect, it will continue. But when you stand firm and set clear boundaries, you teach others how to treat you. Kindness doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior. In fact, standing up for yourself is one of the kindest things you can do. Not just for you, but for the other person. It helps them understand their behavior and encourages healthier interactions. By being assertive, avoiding the need for validation, guarding your time, and pairing kindness with strength, you'll command the respect you deserve. Remember, kindness is powerful when it comes from a place of self-respect. So, set boundaries, stand firm, and let your kindness shine in a way that uplifts both you and those around you. The kindness and strength duality. Let's talk about the balance between kindness and strength, two qualities that, when combined, create a person who is both respected and admired. But here's the truth. Kindness alone isn't enough. Without strength, kindness can be seen as weakness. It's like trying to win a battle with just a shield and no sword. Imagine this. You're always kind, always giving, and always putting others first. But instead of people appreciating your efforts, they begin to push boundaries. Why? Because they sense that you won't stand up for yourself. They think your kindness is limitless, and that's where the problem begins. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic, understood this balance well. He practiced compassion and fairness, but he was also firm and resolute. He didn't let people take advantage of his good nature, and that's why he commanded respect from everyone around him. His kindness was rooted in strength, not weakness. So, how do you find this balance in your own life? The first step is understanding that being kind doesn't mean being a pushover. It's okay to be compassionate, but it's also okay to say no. In fact, saying no when necessary is an act of strength, and it shows that you value your time and energy. Here's an example. Let's say a coworker constantly asks you to finish their work. You've helped them in the past because you're kind, but now it's becoming a habit. A strong person would set a boundary and say, "I'm happy to help occasionally, but I can't take this on every time." This kind of response is firm but respectful, and it leaves no room for misunderstanding. Another way to show strength through kindness is by being selective with your generosity. Not everyone deserves your help, and that's okay. As Epictetus said, do not waste your efforts on people who don't value them. Be kind, but focus your kindness on those who appreciate it and won't take it for granted. And most importantly, never forget to be kind to yourself. Sometimes we're so busy pleasing others that we neglect our own well-being. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must take care of our own needs first. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you respect yourself, others will naturally follow suit. The duality of kindness and strength is a powerful combination. It's what separates a truly kind person from someone who's just easy to manipulate. Remember, kindness should never come at the expense of your dignity. When you balance compassion with self-respect, you become someone people admire, not someone they take for granted. So, the next time you feel the urge to overextend yourself, pause and ask, is this coming from a place of strength or weakness? The answer to that question will guide you toward true kindness, kindness that commands respect. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned today. Kindness is a beautiful quality. It shows strength, compassion, and character. But without boundaries, it can be misunderstood. It's not weakness, it's just that some people take advantage of what's freely given. We've talked about how setting limits doesn't make you less kind. In fact, it makes your kindness more valuable. When you respect yourself, others will respect you too. It's not about being harsh or unkind. It's about being wise with your energy, your time, and your generosity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Remember, kindness is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about staying true to your values and offering help in a way that uplifts both you and the person you're helping. So, ask yourself, are you giving from a place of strength? Are you being kind because it aligns with your values, or because you feel obligated? These are the questions we must keep in mind. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to reflect on how you show kindness in your life. What changes can you make to ensure it's respected and not taken for granted? And now, I have a simple request for you. If you found value in today's discussion, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Could be the wake-up call they need. Finally, subscribe to Wisdom of Stoicism for more insights on how philosophy can guide us through life's challenges. Together, we can learn to live with wisdom, purpose, and strength. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay true to yourself and your values. See you in the next video.